Welcome to the first video of 2021. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Sorry, it's been so chaotic and a little bit dark. My light is not working, but it might in a few minutes. We'll just give it some time. First of all, I want to apologize for the videos being so kind of weird right now. I'm literally just started back to work, so kind of balancing work, school, YouTube, and the Never Give Up community. I'm trying to find balance, so just stick with me where I try to find that balance of doing the 3 videos and whatnot. So I thought for the first video of 2021, I would do a story time video. Because, you know, why not? Why not go this deep into my story? So I touched on this, I should say, sorry, in a few videos. I didn't really go into detail. So when I used to be in high school and I would get into really trouble, like in school suspension or outside suspension, my phone would be taken away from my parents. And if you guys have watched previous videos, you know, the group of 6 really enjoyed communicating with me through that. Even I did a video on blocking their numbers and then unblocking their numbers. You'd have to watch that video to kind of understand this little bit of a dynamic going on. So I used to be really relieved and shit scared at the same time of like, oh hey, I won't have contact with them, that's great, like I'll just get space, but at the same time I used to be really scared. Like I just had this amount of anxiety towards the fact that what are they gonna do? Like they don't have contact with me, what are they gonna do? Like, are they going to hurt me more? Are they going to stand outside my house more? Are they going to knock on my front door and, you know, just say all these terrible things to my parents about me? Are they going to hurt my family? And I know that sounds very dramatic, but it got to the point of I was really worried for my family's safety. They threatened my life on multiple occasions, and I just didn't know, through that escalating, kind of them getting really angry with my phone and communication being cut off, how far they would go. And the communication aspect, you know, it was kind of like this in between do or die of like, I know that again that sounds very dramatic, like, oh, I would have contact with them, the abuse would be lessened. When I didn't have contact with them, it was really, really bad when I got to school or when I got my phone back for the day. So, stupid me. This is me learning as I went. I also did a video on sexting. That was a thing. I am not proud of it. I am not saying don't do it. That's just not for me. I felt really degraded. Well, I did not get smart. I think it was maybe like an iffy situation of like, maybe I wanted my parents to find out, maybe I didn't want them to find out. So, stupid me, back then, they didn't have password protection. I'm old, I know. And I had one of those, not flip phones, but I had one of those slide out ones, so it would have the keyboard, and then you slide it back in, it would be the phone. Yeah, my parents used to go through the phone and find all of that. So that was very, you know, my parents were very, pretty bad. They're pissed. You know, I wasn't raised like that, and of course they weren't raised like that, so it was, you know, it was not a good situation. I got grounded, you know, I got, my phone restrictions would be like from at 4 o'clock p.m. they would take away my phone and I wouldn't get it till like 8 a.m. till I left the school. Me being really, really kind of, this is how crazy it got, guys. How crazy I felt that I would literally sneak the house phone from like my parents' bedroom or another room, and I would call at least one of them, usually my ex, because he would be the one to have the most contact with me, usually when I had my phone off, because he was the living leader. So, you know, and I literally would call him and he would be like, well, you know, this is another reason why we shouldn't be together. You know, you're a troublemaker, you're a whore. You know, your parents think you're like trash and all that stuff. And like, this is your fault. This is your fault. Like, he would blame it on me and I would totally feel like a bag of shit. And then, you know, there would be threats of like, oh, you're going to pay for this and blah, blah, blah. And, again, stupid. My parents used to have a phone, well, they still do, a phone in the basement. And like when they were down there, like I would be up here and like, you know, upstairs in my room, and I would be talking, and they on the screen would say phone in service, and they would pick up and like listen. Now, of course, my fucking luck, they would not pick up during those threats. They would pick up when it was just like me trying to like neutralize the situation, like try to keep it like very neutral, of like, don't worry, like everything's fine. And just the fact that, again, I know that sounds crazy, of just like I didn't want shit to be stirred up. And that's how paranoid I got, of like the fact of like I had to have some contact with them in order to kind of like neutralize the situation. So I was like trying to neutralize the situation with parents, the school, them. And yeah, so that's kind of like one of the reasons why, like I've talked in my videos, that I've burnt a lot of bridges. That is one of them. I know that doesn't sound very like blowing up. It's just, you know, I broke my parents' trust, you know, trying to sneak behind the back of it, contacting them, and not that it would be, not that I did this like on purpose, just sometimes like later on my parents would extend it, so I would have it before bedtime. Like I would have my phone until I went to bed, so I got extended till 9 o'clock, and then like I would have to hand in my phone so they can charge it and stuff, and you know, of course, go through my phone. I guess smart. I started deleting all the phone, all the text messages, and you know, sometimes I would forget to, like, I would just like put my phone, like I would turn it off, charge it, like because I had a charger in my room, but my parents also had one, of course, because my mom had the same phone, so whatever. Or I would just charge it in the morning. I would like literally forget, and you know, again, that would frustrate them and piss them off, like, oh, I'm hiding. No, I would just usually forget, because you know, I'm so exhausted trying to do all these things. So that was kind of like another thing. But yeah, and then like, you know, when I would turn on my phone in the morning, you know, there would be like hundreds of text messages from all of these, the group of 6, and being like, oh, why are you treating my boys like this? Or why are you treating us like this? Or like, you're such a whore. Like, you're gonna pay for this. Like, this is your fault. Like, this is how bad you get. Like, you know, you're such a loser for losing your phone. And like, you're such an idiot. And this is why nobody will ever love you and stuff. It just got like really crazy, to the point where it's like, I look back and I'm just like, man, I was fucking insane. I was crazy. Like, I was in this mindset of trying to please my abusers, and through that scenario, it sounds crazy. Like, it seems like not even James Bond, but it just seems so stupid. But again, it was kind of like roll the dice of like have some contact with them through my phone, and again, the shit would be at bay or not. And it was really proven. Like I had like a fracture, almost like a fracture wrist. So there's like this, I don't know, a bone behind a bone was like fucked up. Because I, you know, got my phone taken away. Many broken ribs, and just the taunts and them holding me over the auditorium, or cornering me in the hallways, or like dragging me off to places to try to talk some sense into me, because like, oh, I had to do better, you can't lose your phone, type of thing. And like at the end, like when my parents used to take my phone, I just deleted the text message and be like, here, just fucking take it. Like at this point, what more can they do? Like they threatened, my life through the two of the members, the brothers' dad. And like they would just say these horrendous things. And it got to the point where it wasn't just words, sometimes it was action. And it was just kind of like this insane, cryptic time of my life, and like I said, like to me, like just I know some of you guys might not understand, like, oh, me kind of losing, breaking my parents' trust, and the aspect of me trying to contact them and stuff. Yeah, they were trying to do the best for me with the information that they had. So they, again, thought this was like a very silly, not silly, but they knew it was serious, but they didn't know how serious it was. And they knew the staff at the school was, near the end, they knew they were fucked up. But, it's just me breaking their trust over something that could seem so little affected me a lot, because it's just, I grew up on deep family values, and we're not religious, but it's just, they raised us to be good human beings, to not like, let us disrespect the family or disrespect ourselves, or it's so very hard to explain and get the words out. But I can't believe, looking back, like all these years, it's almost 10 years, looking back and literally saying how I was at the person, like how crazy I was and how sneaky I was, just to kind of try to ease my life, And again, you could look at this and be like, okay, this would have been a perfect time to sit down and explain everything, to talk to your family and just lay it all out. It wasn't. There was a lot of things going on. Again, I was a troublemaker. I didn't have the best relationship with my parents and brother. Back then, that was me being self-sabotaging in a way, that caused them pain. So it's like I felt like I couldn't come and talk to them, because I felt like it was going to hurt them, or maybe they wouldn't believe me because of all the shit that the school was saying. And again, I didn't have the best track record with telling kind of the truth. So would they believe me? I don't think so. Again, I talked about a situation where, again, the group of 6 gave basically the okay for everybody to have open season on me, and they could do whatever they want. And basically there was this person that tried to, they got close to sexually assaulting me in class, and I lost my shit. And my mom was trying to take away my phone at the time, and like she didn't mean to, like she came a little bit of aggressive, but of course, like I've explained this before, but I got really defensive and scared, and I backed myself into a corner, and my dad lost his shit, And like, I can understand that, but I did become aggressive. And like, they didn't believe me that this situation happened. Again, is that sad? Yes, it's heartbreaking. But again, a lot of shit was going on at the time. And, you know, my brother had to call my best friend to literally confirm this information about what took place. Um, because like I literally ran out of class and I was shaken, and my best friend saw me and we talked about this, and he was pissed. Like, he confronted the guy and stuff. Didn't hurt him or anything, but like, that's how bad the trust and broken communication got between my family. And yes, does it suck? Of course. I wasn't believed, and that really, really, really hurt me in that moment. In that moment, I saw how defeated I was and how deep I dug my hole. And of course, it's not all my fault. Like, I didn't ask for any of this to happen. I didn't ask to be put in this situation. But, you know, I handed over my phone willingly after that, after I calmed down, after, you know, it was confirmed that this happened. And again, because it sounds fucking wild. Like, who would believe, like, in the fucking middle of class, who would sexually assault somebody, right? Pretty wild. But again, my best friend confirmed it, and, you know, I gave over my phone willingly after, you know, I figured it, you know, it was the best decision for me. And yeah, a lot of it was kind of linked through the phone because, again, teenagers and communication, but it was also a lot of, you know, face-to-face stuff. So it was both. It was like 50-50. And I think with my whole point of this story time, guys, is that you can't take everything to face value. You know, you can see a situation and it might look kind of crazy and kind of unbelievable. Again, there's always two sides to the story. So, like, I know, you know, their side of the story is completely different. That I was this horrible person, that I wanted all of this, and, you know, I was crazy, and none of this is true, and we would never do that, and blah, blah, blah. I get that. And I get that that's always going to be their side of the story. If that's how they live with themselves, then so be it. But my whole point is this, is sometimes somebody's story goes a lot deeper than what you think. That, you know, they might have a bad rep, a bad name, something like, oh, she's a slut, or she's a whore. But instead of taking that to face value, maybe talk to them. You know, I'm not saying go up to every random person on the street, but if, you know, you hear these rumors going around, and like, you're an acquaintance, you've seen this person, check in on them, you know, let them know that you don't believe all the words that are going around, that if they need somebody to talk to you, or, you know, it's not easy for somebody to come forward and share all of this. Like, again, my situation, I hope to God nobody goes through this, because this was a cluster of a mess and a twisty story. And that was my life, and I had to sort through all of this. And again, I'm not saying I don't take responsibility for my actions. Of course I do, 100%. I did some stuff that was some shady stuff with the phone and the sexting and the distrust and all that stuff, and the list can go on. But I also know that there was a lot going on the other side that people might not see, right? They might just see the distrust and the sneakiness, but they don't know what's on the other side of that, of, you know, the beatings and the disrespect, and again, the list goes on. So just take a minute, guys, to stop and hear somebody's story, or just let somebody know that you're there for them. It's very easy, and just to listen, you know, and to remember to to not judge. Because it's very easy to be judgmental and jump to conclusions, but don't do that until you hear the whole story. And then, yes, of course, everybody's going to have an opinion and be a little bit judgy. And, you know, sometimes it's best to keep those thoughts to yourself and just let them know that, yes, just because you have a title or you have a story does not mean that's who you are today. Yes, it's a part of you, but that doesn't mean that that defines who you are. I guess that's my spiel for that. Anyways, guys, I know a lot of things were repetitive in this story time, but it kind of all connects together. Like I said, 2021 is going to be an interesting year with interesting videos, and I really hope to dive deep into a whole bunch of other stuff. I have literally a list. It's just that I want to have some time to do like research, and I have been researching some of them, which is interesting. And it's really interesting to like research and have an opinion too. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling now. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that you guys have had a great start to 2021. Well, the best that we can in the situation that we are in. Remember to stay safe, to never give up, always keep fighting. You're enough, and you're very much loved. Until the next video, guys. I love you guys.